Now I'd like to call the 2009 Young Farmer Achievement Awards winner, Jason and Lindsay Elsie, and their daughter and son.
Thank y'all. Greg asked me to tell y'all a little bit about winning last year, Young Farmer, my experience winning the Achievement Award, and I just really want to thank John Deere and Kubota for the use of the tractors. They were a big help this year, and we were really proud to have them. We got to go on a trip to Seattle last year. It was an interesting experience. It was actually warmer in Seattle in January than it was in Jackson, Mississippi when we left, so that wasn't too bad. I want to thank Jones County Farm Bureau. They stood behind me all year. John Kilgore, you know, what we got in a regional manager is just awesome. And that's about it. That's everything that I messed up on last year. I had to come back and thank everybody that I didn't get to last year because you're so nervous. That's why they let you come back and present this award, so you can do that. So I appreciate y'all letting me do that. Right now we're going to watch a video of the 7 contestants that are running this year. So if I could get everybody to turn your attention to the big screens, we're going to take a tour on each of their farms.
Our first nominees are Clay and Kim Green from Marietta in Prentiss County. After studying landscape management in college, Clay became a third-generation farmer on land that his grandfather acquired when he was a young man. Clay's been back on the farm for 12 years.
I rent most of my land. I'm growing about 800 acres of soybeans and 300 acres of cotton. We'll usually try to run between 50 and 100 head of cattle, beef cows. We'll replace them with small heifers, you know, sell a group and replace them.
In most years, Clay tries to split up his soybeans half and half between Group 4s and Group 5s to spread out harvest. But this year, the weather has him running a little late getting the crop out.
Very wet spring. We didn't get to plant until mid-May, 1st of June, which put the bean crop very late. The beans are just going to be average compared to last year. We're hoping 30, 35 bushel. Last year was 40 and 45.
The cotton crop looks to produce an average yield this year, but the price is making Clay smile.
Most of it in the bottom land is going to pick anywhere from 1.5 bales to 2 bales. The hill ground and flat land is going to pick 1 bale to 1.25 bales. So I'm pretty pleased with the cotton crop at this time if I can just get it out of the field. Overall, it's done good, and I'm tickled I made that decision to plant cotton this time. It ain't been $1 a pound. I ain't never seen it $1 a pound in my life, so I've been used to 45 and 50 cents, so I'm real pleased with that.
Clay has 50 head of beef cattle that provide extra income and a safety net in case of unexpected expenses.
We sold, I guess, about 25 head last week. Brought good money then, had them bred. Really didn't intend to sell them, but I knew the market had been decent. I just needed to turn them over, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger on it and come out to the good. I was real tickled with them.
Clay said he's proud to be a farmer and loves the work.
Born and raised in it, it's all I've ever known, it's all I've ever cared about. I never had a job anywhere else, never worked for the public. I've always been right here on this farm.
Kim is a radiology technician at the hospital in Iuka, and the Greens have one daughter, 1-year-old Bella. Our next nominees are Scott and Leslie Canada from Edwards in Hinds County. The Canadas raise corn, soybeans, and beef cattle on their farm that's been in their family for many, many years.
They tell me I'm the 8th generation to return to this family farm. Supposedly we started about 1827 out here. My father and mother had their own farming operation, and when my grandfather retired, he gave me some cows and a little bit of equipment and put that together with my parents' established operation and formed Canada Farms, which is a 3-way partnership.
Scott says the life of a farmer is a hard life with long hours, but he likes being his own boss and raising his children out in the country.
Sometimes it's difficult, but We like being out here where it's quiet and you can see stars and you can see rainbows and you don't listen to traffic all the time. You feel free to let your kids run around in the backyard and play, and you don't have to be there with them all the time. And we're really tied with the church and the community, and just a nice living to me.
Scott participated in Farm Bureau's Ag Image campaign this year because he believes that it's important that the consumer know what goes on down on the farm.
That's one of the most important things I believe Farm Bureau does, is tell the story of agriculture and try to tell people where their food comes from, where their fiber comes from, and that we're producing a safe, sustainable product that we can continue to use for years. People farm because people still like to eat. And right now, that's about the only thing we've got going for the United States is agriculture, because everything else we're buying from overseas and trade deficits and everything else, and agriculture is the only thing that we sustain ourselves with and actually have some exports of.
Scott and Leslie have worked extensively with the county and state Farm Bureau organizations, as well as many other ag and civic groups.
Yeah, I've never done anything but work on the farm all summer and all weekends and everything else. Just it's what I love to do. My parents didn't want me to farm, but that's what I wanted to do. So they helped me and let me come back and work with them.
Leslie is a stay-at-home mom to the couple's 2 children, Haley, who is 5, and Hayden, who is almost 2. Our next finalists are Brad and Carla Spencer from Vardaman in Calhoun County. Brad's family has been in the farming business for over 65 years. His grandfather came here in the 1920s and purchased some good sandy land that was perfect for growing sweet potatoes.
We started out growing sweet potatoes with 5 acres. Now we grow over 500 acres of sweet potatoes, and we wash, pack, and sell, and also bag whatever the customer wants. Wholesalers to the grocery stores, from field to fork.
A few years ago, Brad started growing peanuts to help keep the ground in a little better shape.
Because the potatoes take so much out of the ground. And along with that, we've been growing beans for at least 25 years. And we grow around 500 acres of soybeans roughly. You know, it depends from year to year what we have to rotate with. And peanuts, it's the same way, but the peanut ground has to be a sandy type soil. And the ground rotates with sweet potatoes. It's kind of hard to rotate that with sweet potatoes.
This year, he also decided to raise pumpkins and watermelons.
This is the first year for that, and that's a little sidekick with me and my boys. And they also have we're kind of little partners in a little cattle operation. And we also have 200 beehives out there to help pollinate the pumpkins and watermelons. So we're just trying to, give the boys a sample of agricultural life.
If you remember, last year's harvest for most farmers was severely hurt because of all the rain in the fall. This year has been completely different.
We went from fighting mud last year to fighting dust and needing rain this year. And the yield this year is above average. On my standpoint of view, it is on my crop. I can't answer for the other farmers. I got started August the 3rd when everybody else was still looking at little bitty potatoes.
Brad's been farming for 16 years and says he loves it. Wouldn't do anything else.
You can work your tail off, and you get to see the reward at the end. Then, after the reward, you get to go hunting.
Carla is a teacher at the local elementary school, and the Spencers have 2 sons, Hunter, who is 10, and 7-year-old Justin. Our next nominees this year are Glynis and Jenna Brooks from Tylertown in Walthall County.
Started milking when I was old enough to walk, and my dad milked for another person all his life for 25 years. And in 1993, we purchased our own dairy and started out with 20-something cows and 116 acres of land and 1 tractor and just an old parlor barn just where you had to bend over and milk the cows. And we've been upgrading, and we're milking about 120 now. Got 430-something acres of land.
In 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit the Brooks Dairy, and they were without power for 13 days, forcing them to pour out their milk for 10 days. That led Glynis to start a second career.
When Katrina hit, I was doing a little small electrical around the dairy, and every dairy farmer needs to know a little electrical. And when Katrina hit, kind of seen the need to do more, so kind of stepped out and started doing electrical. And right after Katrina, I got my state license, went back to school and got all my license, and now I have 8 guys working for me and 3 trucks on the road, and still milking and still doing all the day work. Just a way, I mean, it was either keep the farm and do something extra, or either just get out all together, you know. So the electrical is helping pay for the dairy, you might as well say.
Glynis also has other farming interests.
We do custom hay where the neighbors, we cut and bale all their hay. Got into doing that big time. Then we raising beef cows to kind of pay for the ryegrass in the fall, selling the beef calves. And we got 50-something beef cows now. Just a small little herd just where we could pay for the ryegrass every year. We raise all of our heifers, replacement heifers. We never buy a cow. We raise our own.
Jenna is a stay-at-home mom, and the couple has 3 children, 11-year-old Kaylee, 8-year-old Riley, and Alan, who is 3. Next, we have Jay and Kim Gyro from Philadelphia in Neshoba County. The Gyros operate a cattle, poultry, and hay operation that started many years ago with Jay's grandfather.
He bought that bottom behind behind the chicken house, and he just kind of expanded into, you know, what we got now. And then we built the laying houses and done that for 20 years. And then we got out of that business and built the 4 houses that I own now. My daddy did.
Jay and his grandfather both have a nice herd of purebred Charolais cattle.
We usually buy some calves every year to put on ryegrass and feed out, like feeder calves. We usually buy about 80 to 100 head every year and put them on ryegrass and then sell them in the spring times.
Growing and baling hay is a big part of this operation.
We got a lot of rent land, and then Papa's got some own land over there that we bale for him, and we sell a pretty good bit every year. I think we sold about 500 or 600 bales this year. So.
Jay chose farming as his career very early in life. From the time he was 11, he was involved in every aspect of the family farm.
I was just raised up in it. I went to college for poultry science and got that degree, and then I chose not to do that field. It's different if you don't farm and then you want to get into farming, but you know, like I was, my granddaddy farmed, my daddy farmed, and it's a lot of farming around this area, so I've been around it all my life. That's just what I wanted to do.
Jay's grandfather is the heart of this operation.
He's the one that started this whole purebred Charolais. We sell a lot of bulls to other farmers, and we sold one the other day, and a man asked Mr. Gerald, how come we got started with Charolais? And he said, because when I run the mail route at night, when I got in after dark, I could shine my lights and see the cattle.
Currently, Kim is pursuing her master's degree in rehabilitation counseling and is expected to graduate in May. Next, we have Josh and Tiffany Smith from Richton in Greene County. The Smiths run a poultry and cattle operation in southeast Mississippi.
We got started in chicken houses right after Katrina, 2005, and we got 4 poultry houses, 4 broiler houses, and they carry 142,000 all together, and we got about 60 head of cows. I got mostly Angus cattle. I got into showing cows when I was in junior in high school, and I always just liked the Angus breed, and that's what I've stuck with and what my dad's got, and we just try to keep it all black.
A day in the life of a livestock farmer is a full day.
Usually I try to get out to my chicken houses around 8 o'clock every morning, and I usually be there at about 9:30, and then building fence, checking on, see if the chickens got feed and water. I usually go back in there around 12 to 1 o'clock, check them, and then usually by 8 o'clock at night, I go back in and check feed and water again. Make sure they got air, everything's running right. There's a lot of work goes into it, getting the hay and keeping the grass. Like right now, everything's so dry, but it's just part of it. If I'm gonna have an animal, I'd like for them to be healthy. And that's one thing I enjoy is just watching them graze and having plenty to eat.
Josh serves as the county wife and our chairman, and he and Tiffany are active in their local church. Tiffany also owns a nail and tanning salon. Our last finalists this year are Pepper and Crystal Roberts from Belzona in Humphreys County. The Roberts run a row crop operation in the Mississippi Delta.
2,200 acres of corn, 2,200 acres of soybeans, and about 1,100 acres of cotton this year. And going to venture off into a little rice next year. Our name of our farm, Van Buren Farms, is a lot of history to it. If you go back in your history books, President Martin Van Buren never took a salary while he was in office. He took his salary after he got out of office, and he took it for land. And my grandfather bought our home place from him. So we kept the name Van Buren Farms.
Pepper's father was one of the pioneers in the catfish industry in Mississippi in the late 60s, but as that industry declined, the Roberts got out of that business altogether.
We're in the process of tearing levees down, sloping ponds back to where we can farm rice on them, farm corn, soybean, whatever crop we really want to go, putting it back where we can irrigate it, precision irrigate it across the field. A lot of farmers are putting it back into trees and this and that and hunting and that kind of stuff, but I like putting it back into production. Took it out of production, put it back into production.
Pepper says that as a fourth-generation farmer, he loves seeing his kids digging in the same dirt that he grew up playing in.
Why am I a farmer? I love getting up every morning and seeing that sun come up every morning and knowing that I supply food and fiber, clothes and crops and feed to animals and to humans all across the world. Not just America anymore, is we're feeding the world. There is some things about agriculture or about a farmer that is not fun, but when you add it all up, playing this dirt is what I like, and it's what my family's done for years and years, and I'm not doing it because they wanted me to do it. I do it because it's what's in the heart. That's what I like.
Crystal is a stay-at-home mom and helps raise the couple's children, 9-year-old James, his twin sister Jillian, and their 20-month-old little brother Joseph. And those are the finalists for this year's Young Farmer and Rancher Achievement Award.
At this time, I'd like to announce the winners of the 2010 Achievement Award, and that would be from Region 8, Pepper and Crystal Roberts, Humphreys County.
Wow. What do you say? The first thing that comes to mind is I want to thank my Lord and Savior. Give him all the credit for everything. Secondly, parents, in-laws, outlaws. I do have outlaws. I can say that. Brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, supporters, friends. Whew. What do you say? Thank you for these little knuckleheads that make it special to farm every day. And least, but especially the most important part of the whole operation is Crystal, the backbone of the whole family. Thank you to all the sponsors. Wow, just thank you. a truck, a tractor, another tractor, money, whew. What else? It's just overwhelming. Thank y'all. Thank you, Farm Bureau. Thank you for Mr. Wade. Thank you for Greg. It's just amazing. Thank you, Lord. Appreciate it.